Hi Shogi fans, welcome back. If pawn to 5-4 is playable here, that's a huge advantage for white because it's going to be much easier to combat the rapid attacks. I was kind of under the impression that the ranging rook side has to have a tough time dealing with the edge bishop, but after study based on professional records, I decided to change my mind and I'm happy to share the results. Like I said, pawn to 5-4, right? And this pawn push doesn't work so well because white can simply take it, silver develops, and pawn push. And he keeps going, and then white can offer bishop exchange. And after the exchange, pawn sack can be made, and bishop drop, right? But thanks to this pawn push, white can drop the bishop to 5-3. This is a great counter play, and from this point forward, white is going to be better. And even if black waits here, white can also wait by lance to 1-2 without losing its ideal shape, so white still is going to be fine. And of course here black can play bishop to 9-7, right? And this is the biggest concern for ranging rook side. And white has to dodge the line, and then black shifts all the way back to the bottom rank. Silver to 4-3, and then he can open up the line, and white won't be able to defend against pawn exchange just in time because his rook is here, right? And somehow my brain didn't think ahead and stopped working. Maybe that's because I simply didn't like this shape, but actually white will be fine, and white can play rook to 4-2, and of course he would exchange pawns, right? And pawn takes, bishop takes, and as usual rook to 2-2 is a great move, and pawn drop is necessary, and pawn to 4-5, and white can play bishop to 4-4 in the next move. So it seems natural to exchange bishop, and then knight takes. If black plays knight to 3-7 in order to protect this pawn, then this pawn push can be effective. If rook comes out, bishop drop is great, and then pawn push. The white will be able to break through the second file. So basically this move is asking black to push this pawn further, and then white can block it. And bishop drop is required, and then white can drop the bishop too. And then pawn push. If a black plays something passive, for example like this, bishop sack can be made, pawn takes, and bishop drop. And this promotion is so strong. For example, black can drop the bishop, and then this pawn push is amazing because it makes the bishop virtually useless, and white can take this pawn next and then break through the second file. And there is nothing black can do because he doesn't have any resources in hand, right? So basically in this position black is just a sitting duck. However, if black plays silver to 7-7, a game officially turns into a slow game because bishop sack is no longer effective because his bishop can recapture the horse attacking the knight, so it doesn't work. So basically both players will have to wait, but in my opinion, ranging rook side is going to be slightly better because white can develop this minnow into a high minnow or even super crown, right? And whereas black, all black can do is just to build Yagura castle or something like that. So black has more option, and usually Yagura castle is weak against ranging rook because the presence of the bishop is strong. Also, white can use this knight to harass this bishop to maximize the effect of this bishop. So black has more initiative. Alright, all the way back to this position, there is another variation we have to talk about, which is the climbing silver. It's also possible, and then white can open up the diagonal and pawn exchange can be made. Pawn takes silver to 2-6, so the sack can make his attack a little faster. And rook to 3-2, of course, and then bishop to 4-2. It's always a good idea to sacrifice the pawn and pawn drop to 3-4. Without this, white will be able to promote this rook, right? So even if he knows it's going to be taken, this pawn drop is necessary, and of course white can take this pawn and then silver to 2-4. This defensive move is also needed. It's asking black to drop this pawn, and this pawn drop slows him down, so rook to 2-2 is a must, and then rook to 3-2. Black can break through the second file by sacrificing the silver, but it's a little overplay. Silver takes it. After this pawn promotion, rook comes out. This sacrifice seems to be good. If rook takes it, then rook promotion, right? But instead, this bishop comes out all the way to 2-4, blocking the rook. And this is a great move. And the black would gain materials right here. But white's attack is faster. Pawn drop to 2-7 is great. And 2-6 and rook runs, and silver to 3-6, offering bishop exchange, also aiming for next pawn promotion, so it is a great one. Even if black tries to slow down white's attack, that's okay, and white actually ignore the pawn drop and instead promotes the pawn because it's going to be faster and bishop promotion, right? And black has two options here basically, and let's see what happens if king takes it. And then rook drop to 3-8. This is a correct place because this sacrifice can be made. Of course, if gold takes it, the king will be checkmated, right? So that's why this square is the right one. And if gold takes it, then this gold is loose, right? So after this, again, rook drop to 3-8, and silver promotion, and silver drop to 5-9 is so strong. And even if black defends, bishop drop to 3-5 is a great defensive and offensive move. It prevents future threat of a bishop drop to, for example, 4-4, and of course it also focuses on this weakest point, right? So white is winning. Alright, that's all for this video. We already talked about two options here, lance 1-2 and silver 4-3, right? Along with those, this opening also provides more flexibility, and you can pick whatever you feel more comfortable. I hope it's been helpful. As always, thanks for watching and your support. See you all next time. Bye.